to the state of Ohio and sprint car racing for that matter. And when Mother Nature reared her ugly head, it was a deal to where we were on the phone, a day or two prior and just trying to set up logistically wise to say, hey, if this is the situation, how early and, how willing are you to, forfeit that date or, can we go race somewhere else? Because those folks are in the business to make money the same as what the teams are. And they know that they don't have a business if the teams don't come out. So they're thinking, long term, this is a good thing that, hey, let these guys go make some money. Mother Nature isn't going to allow us to play. So, let's allow these guys to go make money, because a lot of the fans, they take off for vacation, and a lot of people can't retract their vacation once they put it in, and they didn't want the fans to lose out either. So, I just hats off to all the promoters that are involved with Speed Week, because they were all great to work with, from Rex Lejeune down to Donnie Moran to, Brad McCowan, all of them, Dr. Jarvis at Lima, every one of them was a pleasure to work with and very professional. And wow, the rain out and Mother Nature, we weren't friends at the time. And, quite frankly, I'm still not friends with her. So, she ruins a lot of things, but at the same sense, it built a lot of character into this season for us to pull that off. And, without the dedicated crew and stuff like that, it wouldn't be possible.
Yeah, it was fascinating to watch. We actually talked to Jason on the podcast. I believe it was the next day or 2 days after. I think it was around. So if you're listening to the podcast right now, I believe that was episode 8 or 9. If you want to go back and check that out, after Wayne County picked up that extra race. And he said the same thing about you guys, man, about how, it took that cooperation and how you guys were able to work with them and you guys just teamed up and made it happen, which in Ohio, we're thankful for that, man. We just want to see the races. So
absolutely.
We appreciate you guys getting them to us. So any sprint car fan is a fan of Tony Stewart on some level. We even love him as a driver, promoter of the sport, personality, or they love to talk about those moments that seem to pop up around the character that is Tony. You have a relationship with Tony, and either way, he's a polarizing figure in the sport, and he does great things to move it forward. But what we want to know is, what's the first thing that runs through your head when he's running in Indiana, you're in Pennsylvania, and the phone rings on Saturday morning after something hasn't been ideal? What are you thinking?
Well, I tell you, the relationship that we have, he's a boss, and he gives us all the tools to be successful. And, when we make decisions and stuff like that, one of the learning things is, we don't act on emotion. We act on, what we think is right. And, when that phone rings on Saturday morning, you just hope that, the first things out of his mouth are, did you learn anything from that? And, or what happened to put us in that situation? So, when people think that, hey, it's a bad thing that he's calling first thing in the morning, especially if anyone knows Tony, he's not a morning person at all. So, when it rings that early and he's up before you, then, you just hope that the words coming out of his mouth are, hey man, good job. And you're never going to hear him say he doesn't support you. So, he's hired people to do the jobs for a reason. And, we learn every day going forward, what the right way is and what ways we're not going to do things going forward. So, it's not always a bad thing when he calls. So
that's great to hear. I mean, obviously we saw him come to your support in a big way this summer, and that was great to see. So that shows the strength and the stability in the series that you guys have and what you're getting done. So That's an awesome thing to hear. So, you just wrapped up the year at Eldora a couple of weeks ago. The schedule typically runs from February to October. What can you tell us about this downtime? Is it downtime? What's going on between the mid-October to early January time frame when you're not out on the road?
Well, there's certainly no downtime, so to say. Let's just say that time slows down just a little bit, but there's always things to do. We're taking advantage of the really nice weather right now to where we have the trailer's fully gutted and, just getting a good cleaning and the equipment. We always clean the equipment, but, it's getting serviced now, and that's stuff that we'll wait until January or, somewhere in that time frame. So we're taking advantage of it right now for a little bit of downtime, so to say, and just getting all the marketing stuff in place for 2020, banners and different things like that. So it's all a learning thing for me. After the first full season of being the director of everything, and it's just neat to see how things come together, not only from our side, from the mechanical side of things, but from the marketing side of things as well, and how the schedule's coming together and stuff like that. So it's a neat learning thing for me, and the only thing that I can say is going on from 2020, the All-Stars are going to be stronger than ever, and we're really looking forward to getting the season kicked off.
How early do you guys start working on that scheduling stuff?
I know that some of the races are penciled in even, when we went to the racetrack. So some of that stuff some of it comes together late, and then others of it, it comes together the year before. So, the All-Star schedule is kind of set to where, tracks have certain dates and things like that. So, I mean, not saying that the schedule won't change a little bit, but sometimes you can pencil a lot of things in, and for the most part, a lot of the stuff is penciled in. Nothing's set in ink yet, but I would say we're really close to, the next couple weeks to being close, and I would say we'll have our schedule released by PRI in December. So I mean, it's a work in progress, that's for sure.
So when you get the marketing stuff done, schedule set, go to PRI in Indianapolis, and then just a couple of weeks or 3 or 4 weeks before you head down to Florida?
Yeah, I mean, we'll take off for the holidays. That's a time, especially being away from home. Central Pennsylvania will always be home to me, but I moved to Indianapolis last December, and it's nice to get back home for the holidays and see family and friends, and then we'll come back to Indianapolis, and we'll enjoy a little bit of downtime here at the shop, watching the guys put the 14 and 15 team together, and our stuff, we'll try and have everything pretty much set in stone, so that January is kind of an off month for us to just to get everything set up. Nothing that way we're not hustling around or anything like that. So, but yeah, we'll roll down to Florida, towards the end of January.
Well, it's not even mid-October, and we're already looking forward to that. So we felt a little bit of slowdown in racing here, and we're eager to get back to it. I'll tell you, that little bit of a lull between February and April really kills me, because we get at it and then we stop and then we have to get back at it. So
it's hard for us too, because we like to get into a rhythm. We try and do 5 races in Florida, and you feel like, the first race, you feel that rusty cobweb kind of deal, and then by the end of the first race, you're like, man, can't wait to get to the next one. And then by the 5th one, it's like, man, let's go full swing. Can we race 7 days in a row? And and then we take that whole month of March off, and yeah, I'm right there with you. It's tough to get into a groove. So
So just a couple more, kind of fan questions here. What was the fastest track you saw in 2019?
Fastest track, from a speed standpoint, I want to say that a track that's near and dear to me is Hagerstown. I feel that sprint cars are really, really fast there. It's a big momentum place, and I feel that Hagerstown was probably one of the fastest places we went to this year.
Where's your favorite track food? Which track do you look forward to eating at, and what is it that you want to get when you're there?
Well, there's two places. Williams Grove, obviously, I have a friend that runs the pizza stand there, and I'll tell you, if you've not had the pizza at Williams Grove, you're missing out. And then, obviously, it's going to be a fan favorite as well, but Eldora has the best chicken wings and pizza burger and mozzarella sticks and cheese balls that if any fan doesn't get one of those, they're missing out. So
you listed everything in the line there. You just go right down the line. You have to pick it all up.
Well, I like to eat, so I try a lot of food out.
I am ashamed to say that I haven't been to Williams Grove yet myself. I moved up here from Georgia 8 years ago, and I'm trying to pick off the tracks as quick as I can. But Williams Grove is on my list for 2020, as well as Knoxville. When you're on the road, you guys travel with a motorhome, or do you stay in hotels on a weekly basis? How does that work?
So myself, I have living quarters in the front of our trailer that I stay in. It's self-contained, has a shower and all the amenities that I have in my apartment here in Indy, and so that way I can travel from track to track, and I can be there the night before after we're done racing, or, I can get there, the night before so we can get everything going. And while the rest of the crew, they stay in hotels.
So it's a mixture. You guys scatter out a little bit.
Correct.
So we, as far as looking forward, we talked a little bit about scheduling. We'll know close to PRI time what the schedule is going to look like. Is there anything else new in 2020 that you can tell us about? Or you're barely off the road, so I don't know if there's got anything moving forward yet.
Yeah, nothing to my knowledge. The excitement is always when we send out the membership forms of teams that are going to sign up and be full-time members. That's always something that I look forward to. Seeing who we're going to work with and so forth. And I'll tell you, the team that we had in 2019, once we put suits on, we're all business, but I'll tell you, it's probably the friendliest group that I've ever worked with, outside of racing suits and that kind of thing. Just being able to talk and I think I talked to more race car drivers this year than I have in my whole life. Just about life in general, or just about, hey, what happened this weekend, or, hey, a congratulations text, or, just a thank you. And it's just amazing, the professionalism on our tour is unreal. So,
the more I can echo that. I've talked to more race car drivers this year than I have in my entire life since we started this podcast. And we're learning that it's literally a traveling community. And to hear them poke fun at each other or talk about each other or what they appreciate about each other is very encouraging for somebody who spent a lot of years sitting in the stands, and for our listeners too, And, something else I'd like to say really quickly to the listeners is if you've never gotten out of the stands and gone into the pits at an all-star race, do it. Get the pit pass, or wait till after the pits, or wait till the pits are open, and go in there and talk to the drivers, because you'll find exactly what Eric just said. These guys are approachable, and they want to talk to you. They want to meet you because you're making it possible for them to be there. I appreciate you talking to us today. It's been great talking to you, and we love to hear about the series, and I can't wait to see what 2020 brings, and we're hoping that it brings a lot less of that four-letter wet word that